It's a report that has shaken the city and police department. On Tuesday night, Golden Valley Mayor Shep Harris publicly responding for the first time to the report. The report by an outside law firm alleges misconduct by the police department. According to city leaders, the police department had a toxic and racist workplace culture. Reporter Sonia Goins has more on what the mayor said during this week's city council meeting.
Next up is a city council statement regarding the recently released findings of the police independent investigations.
Mayor Shep Harris reading a joint statement on the results of the independent investigation was the highlight of Tuesday's city council meeting.
On March 15th, 2022, the Golden Valley City Council engaged Green Espo law firm to investigate allegations within the police department.
Last week, the findings from the investigation were released in 3 reports. Investigators focused on 8 officers. 1 officer is still on the police force, and 1 officer was fired and 6 others left the department. The report found offensive and racist remarks by 1 officer who was fired. The investigation also showed an inappropriate and toxic workplace.
We want to acknowledge the harm and trauma the actions outlined in these reports have caused in our community. The impact is significant.
Investigators found some officers were resistant to diversity and equity training. The report also showed cops engaged in significant data breaches.
The entire police department is receiving data practices, social media, and respectful workplace training.
CCX News asked the city's first black police chief, Virgil Green, how the study results made him feel. He provided the following quote: "We believe all forms of discrimination negatively impact everyone, especially black, indigenous, and people of color. We will continue to pursue meaningful changes to transform our police department so that all our community members are seen, safe, and respected."
We realize it will take time and effort to heal so the community can move forward together.
In Golden Valley, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
The mayor also said the city council is committed to holding itself and the entire community accountable for practicing anti-racism. A city spokesperson told CCX News no on-camera interviews are allowed because the situation involves a personnel issue. A Brooklyn Center police officer is recovering from injuries after police say the officer was assaulted by a hotel theft suspect. 45-year-old Maurice Melancon of Minneapolis is charged with burglary and assault of a peace officer. According to the criminal complaint, an employee of the extended stay hotel found Melancon behind the front counter. The complaint says the suspect tried to access a cash drawer and a safe. When officers tried to arrest him, police say he struck an officer in the head, which resulted in the officer needing to go to the hospital. Court records show the suspect was also wanted on a misdemeanor domestic abuse warrant out of Anoka County. Police say it was a close call early Wednesday for a Brooklyn Park police officer who was nearly struck by a stolen vehicle. According to police, officers responded to the Huntington Place apartments shortly after midnight after getting a narcotics complaint involving 2 vehicles in the parking lot. When police arrived on the scene, 1 vehicle fled, almost hitting an officer who was out of his vehicle. Shortly afterward, a chase started. Police eventually stopped the vehicle off Noble Avenue. The 2 suspects got out and tried to run away before police arrested them. Officials say the vehicle was stolen the night before. The Crystal City Council has approved a contract agreement for a new city manager. Adam Bell will take over as city manager next month. He's currently the city administrator in the East Metro city of Bayport. Bell will replace Crystal's longtime city manager Ann Norris, who held that role for 22 years. Bus riders in Brooklyn Center now have a faster option to reach the other end of the metro. The new Bus Rapid Transit D-Line has started service connecting the Brooklyn Center Transit Center with the Mall of America. It largely replaces Route 5, the state's longest bus route at 18 miles. Metro Transit officials say the reason for the change is to provide quicker service. The new D-Line will chop off about 15 to 20 minutes from end to end.
The reason why it was so important to largely replace the Route 5 with the D-Line is because on this particular corridor, about 1 in 4 people do not have a car. And as the state's longest and one of our busiest bus routes, it just made sense.
Riders pay before they board, which helps speed up the ride. The new D-line is part of a continued expansion of bus rapid transit service. By 2030, Metro Transit plans to have 12 bus rapid transit lines in the Twin Cities. North Hennepin Community College has the perfect way to jazz up the holiday season. That's the North Hennepin Jazz Ensemble performing the 1960s tune Lowdown by Thad Jones. North Hennepin is hosting its fall concert series this week. Tonight, Wednesday, the school's concert band performs its 10th anniversary concert. The concert's director says the college is excited to be back performing live in front of others.
It's definitely an opportunity to gather, which is something we haven't really been able to do the last couple of years, and it gives us an opportunity to enjoy something together.
On Tuesday, the Jazz Ensemble performed Night and Day, featuring vocalist Avery Blashek. As we go to break, we listen in. Enjoy.
You are the one, only you beneath the moon and under the sun. Whether near to me or far, it's no matter, darling, where you are. Night and day, day and night. Why is it so that this longing for you follows wherever?
The Park Center boys basketball team won its first state title last season. The Pirates graduated a lot of talent from that team, but they expect to be one of the top teams again this season. They played their season opener Tuesday. Former Park Center assistant coach John Bryant, now the head coach at Edina, as the Hornets hosted the Pirates. First half, a nice drive to the basket by Edina's Josiah Coleman for the layup, part of a 6-0 scoring run, but they still trail PC. Good pass to the corner to Jackson Folks, who buries a three-pointer for Park Center. They are up 11. Watch the block here by Chang Ring. It sets up a fast break for the Pirates. C.J. O'Hara will finish with a nice move and layup. 13 points in the game for O'Hara. They lead by 12. Second half, Casimir Chavis drives, then lobs the pass for Ring for the lay-in. A dozen points in the game for the junior. Later, it's Joe Burgess stepping in for the steal and setting up another break. Chavis with the dunk. He also scores 12 points, one of 5 Pirates to score at least a dozen in the game. Folks pulls up and hits a long two-pointer. He leads Park Center with 16 points. The Pirates win big, 82-45 the final. They play at De La Salle Thursday. Park Center's girls basketball team lost its first 2 games this season against good opponents. Their home opener against rival Osseo was a different story. Jay Wilcox has the highlights.
Park Center's girls basketball team at home to face district rival Osseo. Park Center starts out strong. 7th grader Brianna Foster nails a 3 as Lakita Davis's team goes up 9-4. They work a nice pick and roll to Atlantis Brown for the layup as the Pirates continue to dominate early. In transition, Helen Ben gets it to Denasia Anderson for 2 of her 9 points, and it's 19-4 PC. Osseo tries to get going. Tatum Miller a drive and dish to Josiah White for 2 of her 11 points. But Brown hits a 3 for Park Center, and they lead 39-21 at halftime. A long night for Doug Erlene and the Orioles. Second half, and the Pirates make the extra pass here to free up Naomi Crushon for 3 of her game-high 21 points, and it's 44-23. Osseo claws back to within 11 on this Jayla Bennett layup with just over 6 minutes to play. But Crushon is an impressive 14 for 14 at the line as the Pirates win at 62-46 for their first win of the season. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
One of this area's top high school football players has now been named the best player in Minnesota for 2022. Just a few days after winning a state football championship with his Maple Grove teammates, Crimson senior quarterback Jacob Kilzer Tuesday was named the Max Preps Minnesota High School Football Player of the Year. Kilzer quarterbacked the Crimson to a perfect 13-0 season and the school's first ever state championship in football. In his senior year, number 9 threw for over 1,350 yards and 13 touchdowns with just 2 interceptions. On the ground, he was just as lethal. Kilzer ran for 1,273 yards and 20 touchdowns, including 2 in the Class 6A title game against Rosemont. He'll play college football next season, but is uncommitted as of now. Kilzer will be joined by teammate Tanner Albeck and head coach Matt Lombardi as part of the North team in this Saturday's high school all-star football game at US Bank Stadium. 6 other players are also on the North roster. We'll have more on that game later this week here on CCX. That's all for sports. More news after this.
Where did the time go? I don't know how I got here.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking. Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.